And we're back. Hall here with another Hall of Code lesson. Let's dive right in. We're going to be looking at the position property. There are 5 different position values. There's relative, fixed, absolute, sticky, and static. Let's first take a look at the relative position. I'm going to make an H2 and call this relative example. And we're going to make a div with the class of box. And this box is using relative position. And I'll just make that word relative a strong text. Alright, this is just a regular div. Right now, it's behaving like any normal block element. Let's add some CSS. So we're going to style the box. And we'll go give it some green. We haven't done any green in a while. Okay. And some padding. Width 250. Margin. So we gave it a background, padding, and width. No positioning yet. It flows naturally in the document. Now we're going to add some position. Let's add position relative. This does not move the element yet, but now it can be shifted from top, right, left, or bottom. So let's go from, after position, we're going to say top 20 pixels. And as you can see, it's been moved down a little bit. Let's go even further. Let's go 200 pixels. Now you can see this box has been pushed down 200 pixels. And let's go left 300 pixels. And it's going to be moved over to the left 300 pixels. Now the box is moved 200 pixels down and 300 pixels to the right from where it normally sits. Its original space is still reserved. The flow doesn't change. So that's relative. If we change this to -20, now the box is moved up more. And we change this left. So now we've moved it to show how relative shifts from the normal position. Now let's take a look at fixed. Fixed is positioned relative to the viewpoint or the screen. It always stays in the same place even if the page is scrolled. And we're going to put a paragraph here. Scroll down to see. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add some dummy text. So we're going to add a lot of dummy text here. And I'm just going to copy and paste. So this way we can scroll in a few minutes. All right, and then down here at the bottom, we're going to add a button. We've added extra lines so there's something to scroll. As you can see, I'm now able to scroll. The div class with fix is our button we want to keep visible. So this help button will be styled so that we can keep that visible. Let's look at CSS. Okay, let's style the fixed class, and we'll go background color yellow, and so now we see our button background color is yellow, and we're gonna change the color of the text to white. I'm gonna add some padding. Again, now we see that. Let's change that color to something different so we can see. All right, there we go. And we're gonna add a front weight of bold, and we're going to add a border radius of 5 pixels. Let's change the position to fixed. Let's go bottom 20 pixels and right 20 pixels. When I scroll, it stays in position because it's fixed. It's in the bottom right corner. This tells the browser exactly where to place it. 20 pixels from the bottom and right edge of the screen. The box now stays in the corner while we're scrolling. So this help button here stays. Next, we're going to look at absolute. Absolute is position relative to the nearest positioned ancestor. And we're going to call this div wrap. I'm going to put a paragraph in it. We'll say this is the wrapper box. And we're going to add another div inside of it with the class ABS. And we'll call this I'm absolutely positioned. All right. So now we're going to take some of these sentences out so that we can kind of see our absolute example here. We've already seen the scroll method being used for the fixed position. So we're going to take some of these sentences out. So we have a wrap, and we also have an ABS class. Let's go to CSS. And we're going to style the wrap. We'll go blue. That's a good blue. All right, we're gonna go padding, 40 pixels, margin, 30 pixels, and 0, and width, 300 pixels. Okay, and again, we're gonna take more of the sentences out, more of the paragraphs out, so that we can see the wrap. All right, let's go back to style. So now we're going to add style to the ABS. Purple, color white, 10 pixels of full padding, 10 pixels of padding, make that bold. So we've styled the child ABS box, but haven't given it any position yet. So it behaves like a normal block element, okay? So it sort of right now doesn't really show much. Okay, but we're gonna add position absolute, okay? Now, ABS is removed from the flow, but nothing happens yet because we haven't told it where to go, and its parent wrap isn't positioned yet. Okay, so let's add a top value of 10 pixels and a right value of 10 pixels. Wait a minute here. ABS jumps out of the wrap and positions itself based on the entire page because the parent isn't positioned. If we go back and add position to wrap, now wrap becomes the reference box. It's now the parent. And ABS, the div is 10 pixels from the top and right of the parent, which is now this box. So this is how absolute works. It's anchored to the nearest position ancestor. Now let's look at sticky. Sticky toggles between relative and fixed depending on the scroll position. Okay. Give it a class name of section, and we're going to also have a div class of sticky, and we're going to throw this last div or closing div underneath this last paragraph. Okay, here's our sticky example right here. All right, so here's our div. Now let's add some styling. Now we're gonna add some styling to sticky. I forgot to add sticky header in here. Let me go back. Forgot to add this. Okay, sticky header. And let's make the font weight bold. So we've added styling. So far, the sticky box behaves like a normal element. So if I scroll, nothing happens, okay? And we'll add a little bit more paragraphs. We're gonna add a few paragraphs here and put them to the top just to kind of see above the sticky element. So that's what we want. We want to be able to not see the sticky header. So we have a lot of paragraphs so that we can do a lot of scrolling here, okay? So now let's add position sticky. And if I scroll, notice nothing happens. But we need at least one direction. So we're gonna say top 0. Now watch what happens. When I scroll, the sticky header stays at the top. It's sticking to the top